Hello everyone, welcome to Mr. Corp's channel and our today's video topic is current ratio and quick ratio, also known as acid test ratio, and both the ratios fall in the category of liquidity ratio. Okay, so quickly jumping into the topic, what is current ratio? Current ratio basically covers the short-term liabilities within its short-term assets. So how well we have covered our liabilities using short-term liabilities using our short-term assets. Okay, the short-term assets includes cash and equivalents, receivables, inventory, and other short-term assets, okay, that are expected to be converted into cash and or used up in within 1 year's time or 12 months time. Now current liabilities are basically obligations that are due within the same financial year and includes payables, short-term debts, bank overdraft, and other sorts of short-term obligation. Okay, thus the formula for current ratio is pretty simple: current assets divided by current liabilities. Now here we are having two companies, okay, company A and company B. Let's quickly calculate the current ratio for both of these. Okay, so current ratio, one second, current ratio for this is 2000 of current assets, 1000 of current liability, which give me 2, and current ratio for company B is 1500 of current asset and 1000 of current liabilities, which will give me 1.4. Now the general understanding or the general approach is that if the current ratio is greater than 1, okay, or 2 for certain industry, then it is considered to be good. However, if the current ratio is less than 1, okay, then it is considered to be as bad. Okay. Now, if we see our companies over here, like company A and company B, both are fairly above 1. So both are doing good. But if we benchmark both of these against each other, then we see company A is doing much better than company B. Okay. Now, based on certain industry requirement, business strategy, or the kind of business or the environment in which a company operates, they need to tailor their ratio. So we need to tailor our current ratio and see what result we get. Now why we need to do that? Now if you see, both the companies are having a certain amount of prepaid expenses. Now prepaid expenses are something which has been paid upfront. The cash has gone out. Now whatever here it is showing needs to be amortized over a certain period of time, so it is not going to generate any cash in the future. So this is an something which will not be converted into cash, so we need to strip prepaid expenses off our current assets, due to which our numerator of the current ratio, which is current assets, will come down, and as a result of that our overall current ratio, or the revised or the tailored ratio, will also come down. One thing that now, based on certain industry, also inventory needs to be stripped off. Okay, because the reason being, like the inventory might be obsolete, or the inventory will take a longer time to sell and generate cash. It will be first be sold, then debtors will take their own sweet time to pay the cash based upon the credit terms of 60 days or 90 days. Okay, so it takes a longer period of time to be converted into cash than compared to other elements of current assets. So we'll strip off inventories. Now we'll list out certain industries in which this is generally or a general practice. So industries in which inventory is stripped off. Okay, so industries where inventory is stripped. Okay, stripped. We can have food uh, and beverages. Number two is floral. Number three can be electronics. Number four can be fashion industry. Number three can be the general perishable sectors. Okay, now food and beverages. Now, one second, I'll keep highlighting. Now, food and beverages. Okay, the food will get spoiled, the bread will get spoiled, the milk will get spoiled over 1 or 2 days time. Okay, so if something has been not sold, if it is not sold quickly, it cannot be sold any further. Okay, so if we're still counting those in our inventories, then that is wrong. Okay, we need to write down our inventories as and when the food gets rotten or spoiled. Okay, so maybe the currently the inventory is showing of uh, for company A 1200. Maybe in 2 days time, if they're operating into the food and beverages industry, it need to be written off, because your foods or the items which were lying in your inventory for last 3 days or 4 days are not so fit to be sold right now. So you need to write it off, and those will be straight away losses. Okay, now coming to my floral industry, the same thing. If the flower is not sold in 1 or 2 or like 2 or 3 days, then it will dry up, it will lose its scents. Okay, the electronics industry, okay, where the innovation is so fast and so rapid, if you're not able to sell your cell phones, your devices, electronic components today or in a few days time, then the new element or something latest will come with some new technology, and customers will want to have that latest one. Even if you want to sell your old items which are outdated, need to be sold at a much lower price. Okay, that is also a loss. And or if you still keep on holding on those items, you need to keep writing your inventory down, because uh, the realizable value of that is coming down. Okay, the same goes for fashion. Nobody wants to buy something which is outdated, something out of fashion, not so trending anymore. Okay, the perishable sector, as stated in the floral and the food and beverages. Okay, some sort of medicines also come into that, where it need to be stored at certain temperature, and thus you or sub certain medicine which can need to be sold at a, in 1 weeks or 2 weeks time, or some chemicals. So all those club together under the perishable sector. Now, since we have talked about tailoring the current ratio, so let's see what ratio which we're gonna use, which is a tailored version of current ratio. This is called the quick ratio. Let me just pull this up. Okay. So quick ratio. Okay. What is quick ratio? Quick ratio is also known as the acid test ratio. Measures a company's ability to meet its short-term obligation using its most liquid assets. Okay, I've highlighted it, most liquid asset. And the formula for quick ratio is equals to liquid assets, okay, divided by current assets, sorry, liabilities, my bad. Now since we know this, now let's strip the ratio. Let's calculate quick ratio here for company A and quick ratio here for company B. Okay, let's start with the current assets of 200 million minus 300 of prepaid minus 1200 of inventory divided by 1000 will give me how much? It gives me 0.5. Okay, for company B, start with 1500 minus 100 for prepaid and 400 for inventory divided by 1000 will give me how much? Exactly one. Okay, now if you see, the tables are turned, uh tables are turned. The quick ratio for company B is far better than company A, whereas initially when we relied upon current ratio of company A was better than company B, whereas now B is better than company A. Okay, yeah, so this is how we tailor the ratio and use it. Also, quick ratio is a much more conservative approach, okay, because it excludes the not so liquid elements, and we see how quickly we can cover our current liabilities. Okay, now if we see both the companies position right now, okay, company, they both need to pay their creditors. Okay, 600. Okay, now we're just going beyond the ratios, and we see how we analyze the elements. They need to pay the creditor 600. Neither of them are having enough in their bank account, okay, to pay. So what needs to be done? Let's come to company A. Okay, now they are also, even if they include the full of debtors and in a short-term investment, they're still falling short. So what they need to do, they need to somehow sell their inventory, okay? Then it will convert into debtors. Now debtors will take their 60 days, 90 days credit terms, and then they will pay. Okay, then they will pay and it will generate cash. Then that cash will be used to pay my creditors, okay? So a lot of time it will take, okay, from inventory to debtors will take time to cash, and then cash will be used for creditors, paying off creditors. Now if company B, they're having enough sitting in their debtors, so straight away debtors do some collections to cash, and cash will be used to pay creditors. So in this case we can also say that company A is doing company A is having a longer cash cycle, whereas company B is having a shorter cash cycle, right? Now, also few of the things which we can see that company A is doing over trading, right? How we can say that it is doing over trading? It has got a high level of inventory, okay, low level of cash. Inventory being high, either they are not able to sell their inventory, not able to meet the customer demand, then they are not able to meet their customers requirement, and that is why they're held upon so much of inventory in expectation to sell, but they're not able to do so. So this is one of the signs showing that A is doing sort of over trading as well, okay? So this is how we look upon the ratios. We strip them off, we look into the different elements based on the industry, based on the targeted customers, and all sorts of data available to us to arise or to take informed decisions on how to run the business. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave your valuable feedbacks.